just a summary of our bio. All right, I'm sure we are all set. Okay, thanks for that. All right, so Ms. Olowoyeye Tosin is the founder of Street to School Initiative, a non-profit organization which provides access to quality education for out-of-school children in underserved areas. Oluwatosin is an international development enthusiast with vast experience in grassroots development and intervention programs, a trained teacher and social advocate who have been empowering out-of-school children and high school dropouts through our annual education sponsorship programs. Founder of a free elementary school called Comenius Nursery and Primary School, aimed to ensure inclusive and equitable access to quality education for the growing population of out-of-school children in Nigeria. In partnership with the United States government, Oluwatosin has designed and coordinated development training programs for educators in low-income areas across 3 geopolitical regions in Nigeria, teaching the necessary pedagogical and digital skills to bridge the digital divide. With over a decade and a half years of professional experience, Oluwatosin's career has straddled education, health, charity, and social entrepreneurship. Through our advocacy, in 2018 and 2019, our organization secured international assistance towards the renovation and equipping of 2 abandoned primary healthcare centers in Alimosho local government area of Lagos State. After losing one of our pupils to death, our annual Back Swap project has supported the education programs of more than 91,000 vulnerable children, a recipe for sustainable development and national growth. Oluwatosin, a multi-award recipient, is an ambassador of goodwill from Arkansas and a recipient of United States Consul General Award. In 2019, our organization was recognized with the NIDIS Award for Innovation in Education. In 2020, the Business Day newspaper named her as one of 60 Nigerian women who are making a significant impact in the country. A graduate of computer science and social sector management from the University of Lagos and Pan-Atlantic University, respectively. Oluwatosin obtained professional diploma in education from Colonial College of Education. Everyone in the American spaces, can we put our hands together as an ovation for Ms. Oluwatosin Olowoyeye? So, Ms. Tosin, you are welcome to our special program, Conversation with an Alum. And having introduced you and seen over the years your achievements and all that, we are brought in today to share your experience as an alumni of the US government exchange program. And to start with, we want to have you share with us your IVLP experience in the United States. I'm sure a lot of the people in the house will have a lot to gain and have a motivation to also pursue that track in the coming days. So can we get to know your experience as an IVLP alumni?
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Samuel. Thank you for that warm reception, everyone. My name is Tosin Olowoyeye once again, and it's a pleasure for me to be here to talk about my experience at the United States. It happened, that was in 2014, exactly 10 years ago. I was busy doing the little I could in my community to ensure that every child has access to quality education, because by then the number of out-of-school children in the community where I lived was growing. So I felt there was something I could do. So what we're doing then as a startup organization was to mentor young people. And
Please, can we confirm if you can hear me, Tosin?
No, we can't hear her.
time. And I saw myself in the plane from Nigeria, we were in Germany, and from Germany to the United States. So the fascinating thing for me was that it was a program that had to do with women meeting women leaders, young women from 16 countries meeting other professional women who are leading change in their respective organizations in the United States. So we moved from different nonprofits, governmental organizations, learning from these women how they're able to navigate through their leadership journey. And also, we're able to explore the impact that the nonprofit sector was making in promoting women's participation in politics, women's access to education and healthcare. And also, we had to explore what the nonprofit organization was doing in ensuring that women has access to economic opportunities. So meeting with these women and learning from them, I saw courageous women. There was a particular state we went to, and hearing the story of the woman leader and founder of the nonprofit organization actually motivated me. And I saw the resilience in spite of all the challenges that they were facing as at that time. She still took it upon herself not to relent in her effort in reaching out to women who were involved in trafficking. So our NGO was to ensure that they put a stop to that. So she inspired me. And being a novice, as I said, we just started an organization not quite long. So being in the US, you're meeting with all of these amazing women and you add so much. So there was so much to learn. So coming back from IVLP, I was able to understand the role that having a strong voice could play in bringing about change, and being an advocate for positive change was one thing I also brought back with me, because I learned about the Little Rock Nine, how they were able to stand against segregation in their school. That was in Arkansas. So I came back with that zeal that if those people could do all what they were doing over there, then there's so much I could as well do with my peers in Nigeria. So I got back to Nigeria. I looked at what can we do. I saw the growing needs of young people around me. I earlier had served in a state that young people, I saw the vulnerability of young people in the community. So coming back from the United States, I actually went straight into establishing a school for
All
children.
right. All right. All right, Ms. Tosin, I know if we allow you to go, you will but let's just take it one step at a time. And having learned about your experience and how the journey started for you, let's have a look at the landscape, considering the good work you are doing within this fair. Can you give us an overview of what you think the current challenges are that are being faced by less privileged communities in accessing quality education in Nigeria? I'm sure your space will be Lagos and you have also explored other states. But can you just give us an overview of what you think the current challenges are that are being faced by less privileged communities in accessing quality education?
Some of the challenges that have been faced by less privileged communities is the financial constraint. We realize that parents don't have enough financial strength to sponsor their children to school. And so these children result into child labor. They go on the streets to also for themselves and also for their family. We see children that they would rather be on the street because of the money that they get, the income that comes from it, than to go to school. So financial constraint is number one. And also we see that in less privileged communities, there are inadequate infrastructures. When you go to the schools, government-owned schools, the facilities provided are not adequate. And also we see language barriers. We see lack of learning materials. And also there's this gender disparity. Some communities still believe that they would rather have the boy child go to school than to have the girl child go to school, that the girl child, once you get to a certain age, you have to go get married. We've faced this hurdle as an organization from some parents and some communities that won't outrightly tell us that even as a few months ago, one of the pupils, a 13-year-old girl, had to withdraw from school because she had to go and get married. So these are some of the challenges, the cultural beliefs that at certain age, a girl child should do this and that. And also we have limited investment of the government in schools. So all of this, all those that are faced by less privileged communities in Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much. I'm sure we are all putting our pens on the papers across our spaces to learn one or two things from our experiences and what she's doing. Now, please, can you share with us what do you think the impact of systemic inequalities on educational outcomes and the urgency of addressing this issue?
Okay, thank you, sir. When we talk about systemic inequality, we are talking about a situation whereby resources, opportunities are not evenly equally shared. We're talking about certain people or certain areas had better privileges than the other, and this has profound impacts on educational outcomes because systemic inequality also means that there will be unequal access to educational resources. It also means that there will be unequal access to quality teacher, and that is what is happening, sadly, in some part of our country where there's shortage of teachers in some schools, and even some teachers are not as qualified as expected. And like the provision of libraries, educational materials for learning, there are some communities that they do not have these resources. So that is what systemic inequality will bring about. It's going to make some people have access to the opportunities, and why some others won't be denied the access. Less privileged community, actually, they often lack adequate schools. They don't have the qualified teachers. They don't have the essential learning materials. So there's so much you can do in order not to allow the systemic inequality that has been playing out in some places, in order for them not to amplify more than what we currently experience. Because the more we have this in the community, the more impact is going to have on social cohesion and the restlessness that it's going to bring, and also the angle of having more than 20 million out of school children in Nigeria. I think it's a big issue, and it's something that every one of us should be concerned about, because this is about national development. If such a large amount of children and the future generation, if they are out of school and nothing, we aren't doing so much as expected to bring them back to school. So,
All right.
okay.
All right, Mr. Tosin. Sorry, I need to just interject because we have a limited time here. Now, let's look at innovative strategies that will probably look into to address all these disparities and issues you have enumerated. Now, can you just discuss with us some innovative strategies that your organization has implemented to address some of these educational disparities?
Okay, thank you so much once again, Mr. Samuel. When we started, I talked about some of the challenges that are faced by less privileged communities. And the first I talked about had to do with financial constraints, and we talked about inadequate infrastructure. We talked about teacher shortage, and even access to access to school is another problem. So as an organization, when I started the free school, we currently have a school in Lagos, and we also have a school in Kwara State that is open to out-of-school children. So what we did as an organization was to find a way of bringing these children to attend school. And to attend school, and we provide the learning materials, since we realized that some parents do not place a lot of importance on education. So what we do, we pay the bills, and for those that had outstandings in certain schools before they dropped out, we had to ensure that. So as an organization, we came up with establishing free schools to accommodate out-of-school children in Nigeria. And we've been running this school since 2015, March 2015. So it's been 9 years, and we've had over 200 that have transited from primary school to secondary school. And we even have those that have finished secondary school, and we have those that are in secondary school, university as well. Other thing that we did is sponsorship. We were open to supporting young people that have finished their WAEC examination and they don't have the funding to move on. So we have those that we do the university sponsorship, we do secondary school sponsorship, and we also do primary school sponsorship. Every year since 2000 and 10 years now or more, we've been sponsoring children to register freely for the GCE examination, and we have about 800 young people that have registered and written these examinations in order for them to have the basic subjects that is required or are required of them to enter into the university. So all that thing that we did 4 years ago, we came up with training teachers in low-income areas. And that had to do with a partnership that we had with the United States Consulate, where we visited different states, organizing trainings for teachers from government-owned schools, from low-cost secondary schools. And in Lagos, we've also had trainings for teachers on artificial intelligence tools that could aid effective teaching and classroom experience. So these are some of the things that we have done as an organization. And also, every year as well, since 2010, we visit low-income areas where children don't have learning materials. So we partner with We've partnered with international organizations. We've partnered with some organizations within Nigeria to provide backpacks, to provide learning materials, such that every child in the classroom, they have the basic learning materials needed for them to get the best out of the classroom. So these are the things that we have done to ensure
Thank
that.
you. Thank you so
Yes.
much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, now in this segment, I would also like to ask, what role do you think mentorship can play in this, in reaching or educating the children from underserved areas of the society?
Our mentorship is going to play a long role because children learn through observation, they learn through modeling, they see what goes on around them, and their mind process so much, and they want to like either be like the person they've just seen or the person that they've just listened to. So as an organization that is focused on working with young people, we derive much from mentorship program for young people. So we bring people that could have positive values to pass across to young people. So we pair young people, those that they are looking into a particular career field, maybe the medical sciences. Then we get professionals who could serve as mentors for them. This program runs for 3 to 6 months, where young people could connect easily with their mentors, ask questions, and learn from them directly. So we've been doing this as well as part of our program, so that young people will not be distracted by what they listen to and what they see around them that are not of positive values to them. So by intentionally, deliberately bringing closer to them mentors who have a lot of positive values to share to them, it has really helped them to become better person that they are today. For example, there's this boy, he's into ICT now, and he's doing very well. Interestingly, he's married, but when we got started with him some years back, we had to pair him. When we realized he wanted to study ICT, we got someone in that field that was able to support him, support his dream, sponsor him, mentor him. And not one, not two. We have so we've been able to learn from that and see that the impact of having a positive, a mentor, a role model. We've been able to see the impact that that's will have on young people who aspire to be something that they have to work on, because everybody has a dream and our dreams are valid. So we tend to support them to ensuring that the dream that they have, they can work towards achieving those goals and those dreams. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. One essential point I note from this is all the directors and all participants, we all have something to give, and I think we can partner with Street to, we can partner with Ms. Tosin and NGO and others like to serve as mentors to some of these young ones around us. We can dedicate some of our times in making sure we commit to seeing that we have a better society. And
Yeah.
also to just say this, Mr. Tosin, with what you are doing, I see that there is sincerely a hope for our nation over the years as we take a lot of these kids who have lost hope in getting quality education back to school, because every nation grows on the
Yeah.
wheels of education. Thank you so much. Now I will ask one more question, then I will ask if anyone has any question to ask before we continue. And the next question I will ask will be on the segment of overcoming challenges and the lessons learned. Now, I would like to know, what are the challenges you've encountered over these past 10 years in making sure that the underprivileged or the less privileged gets quality education that they would have been denied of?
One of the challenges that we've been faced with is contending with certain beliefs in the community, and we had to employ community engagement and also support from international partners were able to overcome that challenge. We needed to engage the parents and make them understand why we are doing what we're doing to ensure that their little ones does not become a burden for them. We have to let them understand the impact and the role that education plays in the nation. And so this will mean that we had to carry excess burden aside the cost of schooling these children. There are times we have to provide for their food. We have to ensure that everything that they need to be attentive in class is being provided for. So that cultural beliefs actually affected us when we got started, when we got picking these children and speaking to their parents and guardian on the need for them to be released. So that was one challenge that we faced. Another challenge is the area of funding, because there is an increase in the number of out-of-school children currently, and the reason is not far-fetched. The economic situation has not been positive enough. So because of that, sadly, we recently had some students who had to drop out of school because they will say they are having a lot of challenges at home. So it's not ideal for them to go into classrooms when after the classroom, after school, they don't have food to eat. And so and that is a big challenge we are currently facing, because we have some numbers of young people in secondary school that had to pull out because of that challenge that they are facing at home, and homelessness and what have you. So that is one challenge also. And the other challenge that we've been faced with is recruiting, or meeting with people that share in our vision, because we do most of all what we do actually based on our beliefs, and also the charity. It's actually a charitable organization. So we've had people ask that, why are you doing what you're doing? Somebody paying you. So it sounds, how can you open a free school and you're doing all of this without support? Is it possible? So we had to explain more, have more of community engagement, let them understand why every child's dream must be protected and preserved. And that is what we have been doing basically as Street to School. We believe in the dream of every child, and we want to support them so that we can have a great country, as we always say. And one thing we should always know, that the change, whatever change you are looking at for, it begins with us. And there's nothing that each and every one of us cannot bring to the table when you talk about national development. And that was one thing we told ourselves. We've asked enough, what can the government do? And so we had to start doing what we know we can do for our nations. The number of young people out there who are out of school is alarming. So we just couldn't fold our hands. So the challenges and the hurdles that we've been facing, why they are there, we still find the courage to keep moving on, because we believe in the dream of Nigeria. And yes, that it is a great nation. So challenges summarily, we have that issue of cultural belief that had been interjecting in some of the states that we visit, to establish these intervention school programs that we have. And we have the aspect of funding. And also another challenge that we face, working with children, especially out of school children, school dropouts. It's beyond just teaching them numeracy and literacy. It's about meeting certain other needs. When Mr. Samuel was reading my profile, he talked about a child losing a child. We actually lost a pupil, and because of the lack of access to quality healthcare in these less privileged communities, you find these children, their parents subject them to taking certain herbs without visiting the hospital for better treatment or diagnosis. So when we lost that child, we knew that our intervention should be much more than just provide numeracy and literacy, because it takes an healthy child to be in the classroom. So what we did was to seek out for international partners to ensure that the non-functional primary health care center in that community was brought alive. So we ensured that the primary health care center was renovated, was fully equipped to standard, so that all of the children in that community, not one community, but two different communities, they were empowered. I mean, they were renovated and equipped so that the thousands of children and vulnerable women in those communities will be able to have access. And this, that was a challenge we faced, actually. So we're able to navigate through by partnering with other organizations to ensure that access to quality health care is guaranteed for the children that we serve in those communities, so that our impacts won't be measurable, and also it won't be valid. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Tosin.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You know, someone said that if you think education is expensive, then try ignorance. You know, that child that is denied education today might be that doctor that could actually save one in that time of their need or probably health challenges. So it's a collective effort we all need to put into this to ensure that no child around you is denied education. Now, some of you might look as, oh, I don't have the money, I don't have this. But see, sharing your story of how you went to school or the importance of education can help that child who has lost hope and interest in school. It can actually help them to have the interest, because aside all you mentioned, the financial constraints, the economic challenges, the fact that some children don't even desire going to school at all is a bigger challenge. And you're convincing and making them see reasons will actually be a good way to become a mentor to them. All right. So I think I have an hand up. Mary, can you quickly unmute yourself? Tell us where you are joining us from, and then ask your question.
Okay. Hello, good morning. My name is Chinaze Rukwe. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Alta.
Okay, all right. So ask your question, please.
Yeah, my question is, first of all, I want to appreciate the speaker. And I want to know, because recently I've been having this desire in my area, because I've seen people, I've seen students. Personally, I am a witness. I left school, high school. I stayed for like 5 years before I entered back into the university. So, and when I entered back into the university, I've seen the impacts that I've been able to make and how it has changed my life. So, and I've also seen children like that. They are brilliant, but because of fun, and I want to help out. So I want to ask Ms. Tosin, how did you start initially? Did you have any funding that backed you up, or was it your personal funding that you started with? Because bringing those children back into the school demands some financial requirements. So I want to know, like, the story, the origin. How did you actually start this thing? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chinaze. So, Ms. Tosin, I'm sure you can quickly. I think she actually joined a little later, because in your bio, all those were enumerated, but just give a little answer to it so that she have an understanding of it.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Mary. Supporting children, out-of-school children, either through primary, secondary school, university, has been something that actually was impacted on me by my mom, because she actually faced that gender disparity, such that she, at certain age, she wasn't allowed to further education. So I grew up, seeing a mom that had a dream, and she so much aspired to be a pharmacy. However, because the parents didn't believe so much in the girl child education, you just have to go get married at a certain age, even with all of your dreams and hopes. So we'll hear she wouldn't tell her story, how she missed out, and wouldn't say how she wished she had a sponsor to pursue her dream. So growing up, I wouldn't see my mom. I never knew what GCE form was. She won't buy, perhaps because she missed out. So she won't want to support the next people out there that want, when she started working, she had to start doing that. So I listened to her story, how she missed that from this from education. I mean, this opportunity, and so she would say, oh, if only she had a sponsor, she wouldn't be where she is today. Although she still worked, she still sent herself to school, but that dream, that aspiration that every child will have, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a nurse. She had it and she was looking forward to it, but it was cut short. Even with all of the teachers visiting her home and cajoling the dad, he never consented to them. So that growing up and seeing her, and when she shares that, I see the pain of unaccomplished dream. So, and also added to the fact that she won't be, I see her buying GC form. So in me, I just look at what can I do also to help other children out there so that they don't have similar regrets. And interestingly, this is a project that she is also so passionate about. And when there's any out of school child in a community, I won't receive that phone call that there's a child you have to sponsor and I have to. So I picked this up passively. So I see, so what we're doing is to ensure that the girl child has equal access as the boy child, so that no child's dream will be truncated on the basis of gender. We want to give every child that voice to know that they matter also, that every child counts. And that is basically what we stand for as Streets to School. We tell every child, your dreams are valid and you count. And that is why we are doing all what you are doing. We don't want your story to be like, oh, I wish I had a sponsor. And that is why we've been partnering with individuals, organizations who sponsor these children. We have children in other schools, aside the private school that we currently run in 2 different states. We have, children in universities and they have sponsors. So we pair them up because we don't want them to have similar regrets of, oh, how I wish I had equal opportunity like the male child. So this is something that we do for the girl child. We want them to know that their dreams are also valid. So this has been my drive into why I do what I do and why we do it so passionately, because we believe that every child can learn if given a chance.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Tosin. And I'm sure that probably answers your question, Chinaze Ekpere. There is always this, there's always this tiny spark of dream in everyone. So learning from Mr. Tosin's story, I think you should not allow that dream to go off. Go around it, think about it. Let your own personal experience spur you into doing something like this, probably in Oka or in the Eastern region, and you get to rejoice about. And probably tomorrow, sometime in the future, we also have you on the spotlight like this to share your own story as well. All right. So there's a question from Calabar. It says, how do traditional education systems fail to meet the needs of less privileged privileged youth? That's how do the traditional education systems fail to meet the needs of less privileged youth? I don't know if you understand that question, Mr. C. No, yeah, the traditional education system. No, I think you are mute. Okay, just a minute. Okay, just a minute. I think there's a connection issue.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay. The question, we apologize for the break in transmission. The network has been poor. Okay.
So Calabar, please, can you ask the question or rephrase the question so we have a clear understanding of what you mean? So, but while we wait for Calabar to do that, other to type it, let me quickly take the one from Uyo.
Okay.
Uyo Window in America. It says, how can someone be part of the organization? And please, what are the requirements? So I guess probably they want to join Street to School initiative, and is there any requirement to join in? I guess that's what I believe they are trying to find out.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much, sir. We are an organization based in Lagos. However, we have partners, we have volunteers, and we have people that we work together as a team. They are from different parts of Nigeria. So we have a representation on the social media, and that is Streets to School. Streets to number 2, Streets to School NG, yes, Street to School NG, Street to School NG. That is, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter, and we're also on YouTube. So Street to School NG. There's no underscore. Street to School NG. And that is our social media handles. And also for the website, it is www.street2school.org.ng. Street2school.org.ng. You could send us a mail. You could to info@street2school.org.ng. So we'll get your mail if you want to volunteer with us. It's possible, and whatever form of partnership, you can always get us through the email address or from any of the social media handles. Thank you.
So sorry, I just want to be sure. Street to School is street, then figure 2,
Two.
number 2, yeah. Street to School.org. So I'm putting that on the chat box so we can everybody can note that down. All right. Okay, so before I take the next question, I still have a last segment here, and would like to know what's your long-term vision for empowering less privileged community through education is. What is your long-term goal or vision, having come this 10 years to date?
We are actually inspired by the people that we serve, because we've seen young people that were picked from the streets, and they have become better versions of themselves. And that inspires us to dream more and higher. So the long-term vision, coming to that question, we look at a future where Street to School won't have school in all of the underserved, all of the less privileged communities, so that children can have access to education and no child has been left behind. That is one dream that I know it's possible. And we're looking at replicating what we've done in Lagos State, replicating what we've done and we're still doing in Kwara State. We want to reach out to more children, because every child is great. Every child has an out of greatness that is waiting to be explored. So we want them to become better versions of themselves. So the dream is to have Street to School, having a school in these communities, offering quality education and breaking the systemic inequality gradually by ensuring that children have access to adequate resources essential for learning, and also working on infrastructural development in schools, because truly we've carried out certain projects in some schools by bringing in health facility within schools. And so this is something we want to keep doing, because every child counts. Every child can be great if given that chance and if supported in their aspiration. So I see a future where straight to school, we have a lot of young people who are beneficiaries of the work that we do at straight to school.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. C. Then I think before we take, like I said, before we take another question from the spaces, if I may ask, what policy change will you want to advocate for at the states, federal, or probably local government level that will bring a serious change about getting the underprivileged that are out of school back to school?
Policy change. One of the policy change is government, if government could support local schools and help them to standard, such that they are also open to the number of out-of-school children that we have out there, because truly there are some communities where there are no government-owned schools, and these children cannot afford the privately owned schools around. So they are like nowhere to go. They can't access the government schools. They can't also afford the private schools around. So if the government could partner with low-income schools or private schools, and so such that they also have an open system for out of school needy children and enroll them, I think it will be great, because we don't just want to be doing this alone. We want a situation whereby more schools out there are open to needy out of school children, children from no income families who would desire this. And one thing about education is that it is a strategic necessity that the government truly cannot hide away from investing in, because once the right investment is placed on education, then we have the better reform that we desire as a nation. And also national development won't be something that can be achieved when we play this card right. Budgetary allocation as well. The government needs to ensure that the budgetary allocation, they work on it and improve, especially on it, so that we have higher percentage of the GDP that is provided for investments in education sector. So those are and also that aspect of cultural beliefs that have been impeding the girl child from completing her education. The government could work on the policies such that will restrain girls from leaving schools to go get married. We've not only one, but we've missed 2 girls who had to stop because they had to go and attend to that ceremony, because it's part of their cultural tradition. So policies should ensure that the girl child should get to a certain age before such is being allowed, and also policy that will make the government a partner with private institutions. It could be ensuring that their annual dues are discounted based on the number of out-of-school children they were able to bring in. Yeah, that is something that is workable between the government and privately owned schools.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh. There's this question from Calabar is asking, how can we ensure the sustainability of these innovative programs in the long time? But I think that answer has been handled when you explained your long-term vision. Then someone is asking that, does this mean that the program is only for girls? So street to school initiative, does it cater for only girls or is for both girls and boys?
Okay, street to school is actually for both boys and girls. But there's this spark of bias for the girl child because of the past
Okay.
experience.
All right. Okay. Let me see if you have another question in the chat box. Okay, I think we don't have. Okay, I think. No, I can't see another one. Okay, so let's just go on. Okay, now let me just see if we have just about less
There's a
than.
question. There are two questions more there.
Oh, I didn't see that. I'm searching.
Okay, let me just quickly ask her.
Okay, all right.
Does she host the students in hostels or they come from home? And the second one is the funds needed, could they be given in kind? Those are the two questions.
Wow.
Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. For the question on if they come from home, yes. For now, we actually do not have a home to ourselves. So what we do is that when we find families that are in their need of accommodation, we actually do rent apartments in the community where we find them, and we have track record of this that we've been doing. So we rent apartments because it's not enough to pick a child and fix a child in school when the child will still have to return to that street. So it wouldn't make much difference. So what we usually do is to get help, necessary funding from our friends and partners, and rent apartment for the children and their parents, and in most cases their mom, because it seems that the mom is usually it's sometimes reachable. So we ensure that these children are moved from the street and they have a place of their own, and also so that when the child closes from school, he has a place to return to and be able to continue learning as well from home in a conducive environment and not on the street. So we don't have a home. It's something we hope to get. It's something, it's part of our dream come true. And for the support, we receive support in cash and also in kind. We receive in kind. For example, the school that we run, that we've been doing this for 9 years. When we realized that more than 70% of the children come to school without food, without eating, and sometimes you see them sleep in class and you know it's because of that. So we had to start up a school feeding program where we feed them 3 times in a week. So we've been receiving support in kind through donations of food items for the children that we serve, and also textbooks, recommended textbooks, because they come to school and most of them can't afford textbooks. So it's another challenge. So we get we're open to donations in that regard as well. Textbooks, notebooks, or any learning materials that will facilitate learning in the classroom. Thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ms. Tosin. So do we have anyone that has question from any of the spaces? If you have a question, please can you quickly ask before we round up? Anyone? Okay. So I'm sure there is. Before Ms. Tosin will give us our final closing charge or remark, I just want to state this, that please, it's our collective responsibility to ensure that that young girl or that young boy around our community goes to school. You don't need, if you don't have the money, all you have could be just encourage or motivate that child to see the need to go to school. And I'm so sure that by the time we all do that, we'll see that boy fulfill that dream. No, incidentally, I saw this post online of a young boy who looked so tattered with dirty torn clothes, standing before a mirror and was seeing a young boy with tie, clean, neat suits. Every young boy or girl have a dream in them, and we have a role to play making sure that that dream is realized by encouraging and helping them to get educated. Thank you so much for being part of today's event. And before my boss, Mr. Itayo, will also say a word, I would like Ms. Tosin to just give us a closing charge. I'm sure she has something to say as a closing remark. Ms. Tosin.
Okay, thank you so much. And I won't say this. For every heart of school child that you see out there, they have an altar of greatness waiting to be explored. You don't blame them if you are not going to do anything for them. And it is enough for Nigerians asking, what can the government doing, or when is the government going to do this? If only you could rise up. You don't need to have all of the millions. Like when we got started, the money was not there, but the passion was there. And when the passion was there, we started seeing people that, passion is like magnets. It starts, pulling together, people that share similar passion with you, and decide coming up and supporting what we do. We've impacted thousands of young people, of children, and even graduates. I still spoke with one yesterday that he just finished serving in Benin City, and another one that is in Federal University of Agriculture. So that is something that it's fulfilling when you see that these people are no longer where they used to be. And it's something that each and every one of us, we have the grace to do in the life of that child you usually see out there. Let's be a brother's keeper. Let's hold their hands and bring them to the light as well through sponsorship. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Please, can we all put our hands together for Ms. Tosin to appreciate her for the good job she's doing and for the impact she's making. And please, I will say it once again, let's be part of this. Let's support her whatever means we can, and let's ensure that we have the out-of-school children around us get back to school and get educated. Now, Mr. Itayo, so sorry, Mr. Itayo, please, can we just put us here for Mr. Itayo as he gives us a charge or a remark before we call it a day? We have just about 2 more minutes. Mr. Itayo, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Samuel Ede, the director of the American Center, Lagos. Thank you for moderating the session. Also, I would like to thank our alumna, Sister Tosin Olowoyeye. Thank you for what you have done today. We always say this, you don't even know where this messages is going to get to and the kind of effect it's going to have in the lives of people. What you are doing is to lift people from the lowest of the lowest and give them chance in the world. We want to appreciate you for what you are doing. And that's why the US government was able to find you. And you are part and parcel of the International Visitors and Leadership Program. So we appreciate you. And also, I must say this openly also, thank you also for your partnership with the American Center and American Spaces for all the arrangements that you have been helping us with. And we hope that we'll be able to continue with this. For all of us who are joining us from different American spaces in the country, this is an opportunity for you to think outside what you do normally. I mean, you are taking care of your children, you take them to school. What about the children of less privileged people around you? Let's think of what we can do. And if you have any thoughts, anything you want to do, she has given you a link, is street to school
Straight to
NG.
school.
Yeah. Yes, and we hope that we'll be able to do something with what we have had today. For the announcement, I want to encourage you on Monday, we're going to be showing a movie, or a documentary that is super, and it has to do with the Health Day. And sincerely, you don't want to miss the opportunity. So please, let's avail ourselves. And on Thursday, we're having Speak with a Diplomat. And I'm telling you also, you need to be there. For all our directors, we appreciate you for what you are doing. And that is it from us today. We hope to see you soon, and bye-bye for now. So bye, everyone. Sokoto Gombe.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.